This is a great honor for every fan of the Dallas Cowboys. I'm honored to be in the NFL.
What can I say? Mamba out.
All right, well, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to the afternoon show presented by, excuse me, ESEN. I'm Chris Gonzalez, joined by Jay McLovin and Tony Gonzalez. How's it going, guys?
Going good.
Yeah, it's definitely a good day. Yeah, man, it's I don't know what it's like where you are, but right now it's about 91 with about 57% humidity and sunny.
I'm glad you guys
I'm
glad you guys are having a good day. My day is fucking sucked.
Really?
So why is it hotter?
It's about it's hot, but it's just I got kind of got fucked by DoorDash last night, so I ain't been able to work all day today. Other than they let me work. They let me work 45 minutes earlier. Got to do 2 orders, and that was it. So it's been a fucked up Friday. That's what kind of Friday it's been so far. Hopefully this evening's a little better.
About to say, hopefully you make a little bit of money this evening, then.
But they took my fucking platinum status from me last night. And they shouldn't have. Kind of fucked me like they done Austin a couple of weeks ago. So now I can only work when they let me work. And so far today they let me work for 45 minutes. So
how do you lose platinum status if you're not doing enough deliveries, or how does that work?
Yeah, you have to keep certain numbers, and one of them is acceptance rate, which means that when they give you an offer, you have to accept a certain amount of them. You have to be you have to stay above 70%.
Okay.
Well, I was right at 70%, and it gave me one, and I went to decline it. And it tells you if you decline it, it tells you what your percentage is and what your percentage will be after you decline it. So it showed that my percentage was 70, and it said after declining, my percentage would still be 70. It said underneath it, declining will not affect your acceptance rate, but accepting it will help raise your acceptance rate. So I declined it since I was still going to be at 70. I hit decline, boom, it took me down to silver status. And when you're platinum status, you can make your own schedule. You can dash anytime you want. So now I'm at silver status until I get back to 70% or higher. But it won't, like I said, all day today, it tells me that it's slow, and it let me get on one time for 45 minutes. So now I'm just kind of stuck waiting until I can go.
That almost sounds like you got to stay way above 70 then before you can, if you're thinking about declining. Otherwise, like you said, if you're right on that border and you decline, then they're going to drop you. That's what it sounds like.
What happened is they shouldn't have dropped me. It said on there that it said it wasn't going to affect my acceptance rate. Showed I would still be at 70, and then it went ahead and dropped me anyway. That's what's bullshit about it.
It's not like DoorDash a bunch of a-holes. No offense, DoorDash. You want to sponsor us? We still love you.
Yeah, I went and had real good bread tenderloin for lunch, so I'm doing pretty good.
Real quick, Robert says, how are we doing the fantasy baseball? I'll tell you how we're doing. Frankie's still killing it. He's about 2,000 up in first. So I forget the guy who's in the second place spot, but he's about 1,000 back from Frankie. And I'm in third, hovering about 300 back from the other guys. So it's still a status quo. But I don't care what anybody says. Fantasy baseball is a difficult thing to play. The rules of it are just so different. I apologize, Gonzo. I just want to address that real quick. What were you going to say?
I just asked where he got a tenderloin from.
We went to that 4-day, Ray. That's where we ate lunch at today. Me and my brothers and stuff. We all met today and we had lunch. It was good, real good. Well, guys, let's get started here. Start with a little NFL preseason. We'll touch on the Colts last because more to talk about there with the injury. Seattle and the Raiders played last night to tie. Did get to see Milroe play a little bit. I thought Milroe, he played towards late in the game, so might have been a lot of subs in, but Milroe looked pretty good. I thought he looked pretty decent. The Eagles beat Cincinnati 34-27. Cincinnati got off to a real good start, was in control of that game in the first half, but and they took their guys out. But Burrow looked very good. He was 9 of 10 passing. He looked sharp. So Burrow looked good. Of course, it's very early in the preseason. And then the last thing, the Ravens and the Colts. The Ravens won 24-16. Big story in that game was the Colts quarterbacks. And Anthony Richardson in the second, I believe it was the second series, looked pretty good the first series. He looked pretty decent. I think they did go down and score. I think they only got a field goal. But in the second series, very early in that series, he dropped back to pass, and there was a rusher who was untouched, and he got drilled. And from what I understand, he's got a dislocated pinky and is out. I did see something that he might be back for Saturday, maybe. So, but he did get injured again. And Chris, let's go to you. Anything that stood out with you with the preseason games, and definitely with the Colts, Ravens, and Anthony Richardson?
I didn't watch any of the other preseason games. I really didn't watch much of the Colts preseason game. I saw like two or three plays when Daniel Jones in there. I didn't see any of Richardson. I know they got a field goal while he's in there, but I don't think they really drove down the field much because they got the ball off an interception. So I don't know how much they had moved the ball to get. I think they were in field goal range when they got the interception. The play got hurt on. Everybody's talking about the offensive line. It was blown protection, yeah, but it's also. I saw a thing with Richardson talking about he has to be on his P's and Q's and not miss the protection either. I thought when I saw Daniel Jones, I didn't think he played too bad. I saw him. He made some short throws on time, hit some receivers on time. Now, like Richardson, didn't get to see enough of him. My thing with him is, he can't stay on the field. Like every time he takes a hit, he's hurt. I think he's too brittle. I hope I'm wrong. Hopefully, they talk like he's going to play Saturday. From what I was reading earlier, they talk like he's all right and he's going to play a Saturday in their next preseason game. Hopefully he can make it through. Hopefully he can make it through a fucking quarter of football without getting hurt. And then we can go. And then we can make a little progress and go from there. But because hell, he couldn't make it through a quarter last night. He ain't been able to make it through a half a season really yet since he's been in the NFL. So and you can't just keep blaming it on the offensive line. Well, I mean, at this rate, we're gonna have to put him in a goddamn bubble behind under center, or go out and pay every top offensive lineman there is, or just go buy a pallet of bricks and build a fucking brick wall in front of him. Because like if the dude gets touched, he gets hurt. I don't know how he's gonna play quarterback if you can't get fucking touched. So I want to see him succeed, but right now I just think he's too brittle. I think it's probably gonna be Daniel Jones, and I thought Daniel Jones looked decent last night for his first time out there with the Colts. So, but yeah, hopefully we see more of Richardson Saturday, and like I said, hopefully he can just make it through a quarter without getting hurt, and then we can go from there and try take baby steps in this process.
Jay, what do you think about this and the games and the Colts and Anthony Richardson? You're muted, Jay.
Of course I am. That just lets you know the system's working.
Okay.
No, look, if I'm Anthony Richardson and you got it, and I dislocated my pinky, I'm going to the sideline. I'm telling the trainer, pull this damn thing out and let me get back in there because I'm in a quarterback competition right now, and I can't afford not to be on the field, right? So, but so that's fine. So they take him out. They let Daniel Jones come in. Obviously, Daniel Jones is a fraction of a point under 50% completion. So Daniel Jones didn't throw any interceptions. He took a sack, 70 QBR. Not bad for Daniel, right? I think it was a modest day, no turnovers. I thought he did well. And that's what Anthony Anthony Richardson can afford. Before he went out, he was right at about 80 on the QBR, and he was 2 of 3 for 21. So, I mean, he looked like he was in a good mode and doing well up until the dislocation. I got to tell you guys, if I'm him, I'm like, hey, look, as long as it ain't fractured, broke, or anything, and it's a dislocation, yeah, it's going to hurt like hell, but we got to get this thing fixed so I can get back in there. But at the same time, I think he knows that he's got more days to shine, and maybe the coaching staff said, nah, just sit down. We'll deal with this later, and you can come back Saturday if those. So that's fine. Ultimately, I think it was just a great day for Daniel Jones, and I think Daniel Jones saw the opportunity that was given to him, and I think he made the most of it. And ultimately, what a good day for him. Defensively, though, for the Colts, I'll tell you, they gave up 177 yards on the ground. But again, it's preseason, so you take that for what it is, right? Probably got some guys out there trying to make a roster spot, and they're just seeing what they got. So it is what it is. So ultimately, I think for the Colts, I think it was a good day. I think they saw what they had in Daniel for day one, and we'll see what day two brings from, or second game brings them.
The other big thing I took out of that game is hopefully that Tomalulu, or however you pronounce his name, is not hurt. He hurt real bad. He was playing some good football last night.
Yeah, and
then he got hurt. Hopefully his injury isn't too bad, too severe, and he'll be okay for the regular season. Because I think he's going to have a big year for the Colts. I think Richardson would have. I think if it had been a regular season game, Richardson would have been back in the game and kept playing. If he was the starting quarterback, in a regular season game, in a preseason game, I kind of understand why they didn't put him back in. They wanted to make sure to get checked out, make sure it was just dislocated. But if it had been regular season, I think he would have. Well, I think he would have played, but I also watched the dude tap out as well. So maybe he might not have played. Who knows?
Chris sounds like he got a grudge, man.
Chris always pissed off. Every time he goes on the show, I just feel like somebody peed in his chair. Yes.
He's mad at DoorDash.
I don't got a grudge. It's just hard. It's been 3 years of the same stuff. Going on 3 years of the same stuff always hurt, and it's frustrating. Like I said, I just hope he can get right, because that'd be the best thing for the Colts, and I'm a Colts fan. But it's not looking good.
Well, we talked about it when they got him, that we was worried. We didn't think he was the guy. I know they probably thought he was the best available at that fourth pick, and it's easy to say now. They probably should have not got him and went for something else, even if it wasn't a quarterback, and waited another year to get a quarterback or something. But that's easy to say after the fact. But I know me and Chris, neither one was sold on Richardson from the get-go because of not played very many games, and the fact that the games he had played in, he did not have great quarterback play, especially for percentages. He can throw the ball deep. The guy can throw 50 yards and get a complete pass. He just can't throw it 10 yards and get a complete pass. And
I thought Tyler Warren did pretty good. That was you guys as tight end y'all picked up. It went 3 for 40, 13.3 average. I mean, it's not bad for your first preseason game, especially with the quarterback. Is also making his debut for the Colts, and Daniel Jones and AR as well. So I thought he did a pretty good job, honestly. Joe, hang tight on the baseball. We'll get there in a few minutes.
Warren has,
but I did want to say that. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, I think Warren has the ability to be one of the top tight ends in the NFL. I really do. I think you're going to see that. He's that kind. I really think he's that kind of player. I thought that. I'm not saying that because he's on the Colts. I thought that before he got drafted by the Colts. That's why I was hoping the Colts would get him. I watched him play a lot in Penn State. He's going to be one of them guys like a Kittle and a Kelsey, one of the guys that we talk about as one of the top tight ends. I really believe that.
I thought you guys wanted Loveland, though. Was it Loveland on, and then y'all wound up getting, or is it the other way around?
No, Loveland was one of them that Colts was talking about, but I was always hoping they would get Warren.
Okay. Real quick, Frankie, today they did unveil the nice, beautiful statue of Thomas Edward Patrick Brady. And if I ever get a chance to go up there, I'm going to pee on it like Ozzie peed on the Alamo.
You go pee on Brady in New England, you might get shot.
Yeah. Frankie might shoot you.
So it's okay. My wife is combat lifesaver trained. She'll just, patch me up a little bit, get me there. It's okay. It's all good.
Well, guys, let's move on. Talk a little more NFL. I know, Jay, you wanted to discuss a little bit about the situation with the Dallas Cowboys and some of the things going on with Jerry Jones.
Yeah, obviously, there's still the ongoing Parsons contract situation. The fact that Jerry doesn't want to talk to the agents, he'd rather just talk to the players. Dak now has kind of stepped up into that conversation. Jerry tried to talk about contract negotiations with Dak, and didn't want to have Dak's agent there. So Dak, said, no, we're going to do contract negotiations. My agent's going to be there. And I don't know what's going on in Dallas. I mean, I can't imagine for the last 30 years that Jerry has just been doing contracts without agents. I just have a hard time. So I don't know if that this is something new that Jerry is trying to do and not talk to agents and rather just deal with the players. If it is something new, that's what I think it is, somebody needs to talk to Jerry and say, dude, this is not how we do things. They got agents for reasons. I mean, and if you're a player, yeah, you want your agent there because you're paying him to be there. You're paying him to take care of you. So it's almost like when the teams bypass the agents, or in this case, Jerry specifically tries to bypass the agents. It's like he's cutting his own players' legs out from underneath them, and you're never going to get business done that way. And I tell you guys, as a Cowboys fan, and Joe, I hope you're listening because I know you're a Cowboys fan too. I think there's an implosion and I know Pags and a couple other people that I know have brought this up in recent shows, but there's an implosion that's about to hit Dallas, and I just don't know how bad that implosion is going to be. But I'm wondering when that implosion does happen, if somebody steps in and starts taking control of this team and maybe declares Jerry incompetent to run a team and goes that route, because I truly believe that Jerry Jones is incompetent to run the Dallas Cowboys. I think we have all seen the incompetencies that Jerry Jones has displayed. And I'm hoping somebody, when we do implode, which I do think we will implode, I hope somebody has the balls enough to step in and get this team back under control. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah. And of course, some people have come out and said that it might be tied with racial. I don't think it has anything to do with race. That's just my opinion. I think it's tied to Jerry's cheap and trying to save every dollar he can. He didn't want to deal with the agents. I don't think it has anything to do with the color of the players. That's just my opinion. I mean, everybody's got a right to their opinion. But I do know that Chris had brought up earlier off air about one guy on ESPN. Hell, I can't remember his name half the time because he's kind of insignificant to me. Stephen A. But that was one of the things I guess he said. But yeah, again, that's another, somebody trying to get views, somebody trying to make headlines. Unfortunately, that's my opinion. Also, I think he's trying to do. Chris, what's your take on this Dallas situation?
Well, it's pretty much the same as it was before. I think they'll. I think Parsons will end up signing the deal. Last year, when they had the Dak Prescott deal, they signed it. It was like the day of the first game of the season, just a few hours right before the first game of the season, or some shit. That's how Jerry Jones likes doing it. They done the same thing with. They drug it out with CD Lamb as well. So I think it gets done. From the thing I read, though, Dak Prescott said he if it wouldn't been for the direct conversations he had with Stephen Jones, he said, now we never talked numbers, but he said wouldn't been for them direct conversations, he probably would have never re-signed with Dallas. So he said he thinks it's good that the owners can have direct contact with the players to a point, but he also said he thinks you should trust your representation as well. So I mean, so it sounded like with Dak, the conversations like it wasn't about numbers; it was about other things. Now with Parsons, I don't know. You know what I mean? So you just never know. But to me, though, it's nothing that hasn't been going on for years. Like all these owners, if they have a chance to talk to the players about contracts or numbers or negotiation without agents being around, they're going to do it. They've It's been like that, and it's like that in any professional sport. So I mean, it ain't like this is just something that Jerry Jones is the only one that is doing it. He's the only one that's getting talked about doing it. I guarantee you, there's a lot of other owners in all professional sports that do the same thing.
Yeah, I agree. Well, guys, we'll move on from there. It's all right. We'll go to some Major League Baseball. One thing we'll talk about some of the series coming up here this weekend and what's going on with that. But first, I want to bring up the best team since the All-Star break. I think we're pretty much all aware who the best team's been since All-Star break. It's been the Milwaukee Brewers. They're 12-4. But some of the other teams surprised me a little bit. We've got Miami 11-5, the White Sox 10-5, Cleveland 11-6, Texas 11-6, Pittsburgh 10-6, Boston 10-6, Toronto 11-7, Cincinnati 9-7, Houston and the Yankees. Jay, you give the Yankees some shit, but since the All-Star break, they've got the same record, 7-10, both teams. So that surprised me a little bit. I didn't realize that. And the worst team since the All-Star break is the San Francisco Giants, 4-12. So that's I was surprised because I know the Yankees went on that big slump, but Houston, and I know Houston had a little bit of trouble there a week or so ago, 10 days ago or something. But yeah, the Yankees and Houston, same record of 7-10. And something else, Seattle is now only a game and a half back of Houston now. So they're right in the hunt, even in first place. Houston, big series tonight with the Yankees. The Reds playing Pittsburgh. We shit the bed yesterday, got beat, I think 7-0. We stunk up the place. This is the problem with consistency. We can get up to 6 games over, and then we'll drop 2. We've got to get more consistent.
Our problem yesterday was I think we had 10 hits in that 10 or 11 hits in that game. We didn't score no runs. Like we couldn't get a hit when we had runners in scoring position. And the Pirates just pounded the fucking ball from the beginning of the game all the way fucking through. Like we had almost just as many hits as the Pirates had in that game, but they scored runs off theirs, and we couldn't get hits when we had runners in scoring position. We get a leadoff hit, get a couple runners on, and then we got off to a bad start in the first inning. Singer did. It's the worst inning he's had all season long. He threw more pitches in the first inning yesterday than he thrown in any inning this season, and he got the first 2 batters out real quick, then gave up a solo home run, and then walked the next 3 batters, and then gave up a single, and then you're down 3-0 after the first inning, where it looked like it was going to be a quick 1-2-3 inning, and then the wheels just fell off of it, and then we just could never get no momentum going after that.
That's one thing with Singer this year. He's not been terrible. He's not been great. I think his record is like 7-7, 8-8, 7-8. I don't know exactly what it is right now, but he'll pitch a game or 2 good, and then he'll have a rough start. But he's not a superstar. He's that 4th or 5th starter in your rotation. So I understand that. Hopefully the Reds will get going tonight. I'd like to win these next 3. We need to win this series, and it's a 4-game series. Okay, Jay, your thoughts? Did you have any thoughts on? Was you surprised by any of the records by some of these teams? I was by a few of the teams' records since All-Star break, and what are you expecting for this big series with Houston and the Yankees? Jay.
I got you. See, again, I just want to point out that the system is working, and Gonzo's and I will take a laughing Gonzo making fun of me over an angry blood vessel person Gonzo any day of the week. So laugh all you want. It's okay.
But Jay, that's the most sense you've ever made.
Oh, you got jokes now, Tony. I got you. If you don't mind me asking, Tony, again, how now, hold on. So look, I'll be 53 next month. I think Gonzo's turning 26, right? Gonzo, how old are you, Gonzo? You're like what, mid-30s, late 30s?
Shit.
21.
Shit.
Oh,
Because now, hold on.
I'll be
Now,
40.
Tony,
I'll be
you're like
45.
50.
I'll be 45 in a couple months.
Oh, you're gonna be 45.
I'll be 45 here in a few months.
Help the math work here real quick. Now, Tony, how old are you again?
I'll be
100?
I'll be 62 in a few days.
Okay, so the math does work then. For some reason, Tony, Tony. For some reason, I thought you were like 57 or 58. I guess I had you a little younger than what you actually are. That's a good thing. I guess that good skin you got over there.
Yep.
Okay, well, Gonzo, you just sit there and just sit in the under 50 group, okay, guys? Just in the under 50 group. Son of a bitch. No, let me get back to my story here real quick. So. Yeah, so Robert goes, since he's here, let's start off with Seattle, which I think Seattle's doing great, by the way. They're playing good ball right now. Naylor did go down with that shoulder soreness, but they did pull out that win. So they didn't lose the game that they got pulled on. So he's day to day. Maybe, I think he'll be back in a couple of days once that depending on the level of soreness he's having and how it responds. But I thought the addition of Naylor and Suarez for that team has been incredibly invaluable to them. I think it shows in the standings. I think it shows in the play or in the series that they've been in. It's been incredible for them. So yeah, Seattle is definitely probably one of the bigger surprises in terms of how they're playing now. I think they're going to stay in that wild card spot if they don't get the divisional spot. But Robert, I want you to keep in mind. And I understand you're coming for us, and I see that because you're only a game and a half back of us. So yeah, you're definitely on our heels. But just keep in mind that we don't have Javier Garcia, Alvarez, or Myers yet, and all of those guys are in minor leagues right now, working on getting back into the rotation. I expect mid-August, maybe even by the third week of August, I think Houston will be back up full steam ahead. So I know, even though you are coming for us, don't get too excited because I think you're still going to get spanked down like you have in the last few years in the playoffs. So you just sit there in the closet, just enjoy your Mai Tai. With that having been said, teams that have impressed me, Toronto's still doing an incredible job, right? I mean, they're not going anywhere. Brewers, like you said, Cubs, like you said. I mean, all these teams, right? Texas who started out looking pretty rough early on, is now making their way into the conversation of the wild card. So, I mean, there's a lot of teams out there, quite honestly, that are just looking amazing. I think but I think nobody's going to detest what the Brewers have done and Detroit and things like that. So, yeah, a lot of those guys are out there. I think one of the biggest surprises to me is how I really thought Dodgers were just going to be obliterating everybody and anybody. And obviously they've had some injuries, so I don't want to take that away from them. But how good it is to see them not doing as well as I even think they thought they would be doing. I love that. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, right? In terms of Yankees versus Houston, this series that starts tonight, we got Littler, or however you want to say that guy's name. He's got a 4.56 ERA for the Yankees. He's going to be taking on Hunter Brown with like a low 2.1 or 2.2 ERA. I think Pena should be back in the lineup. He wasn't in the lineup the other night when we lost the third game of that series, which we could have swept them. But Pena wasn't there. So, and Pena's a big part of our offense. It's about a little over 300 right now. Great contact hitter, and I think we could have used him. But any event, we do got the Yankees tonight. I do think we capitalize on our pitching staff versus their pitching staff. I think we kind of had the better bullpen right now. We also have the better rotation than them right now. So that's why I fully expect to capitalize on the Yankees. Now, the Yankees did end that losing streak that they were on and got that win. So they do have a little bit of momentum coming in tonight, and we are playing in New York, so we are playing in their home turf. But I don't think that's going to stop us. Quite honestly, I don't think we get a sweep in this. I think Fried gets the last game of this series. I think he'll probably get the win, maybe. But in all honesty, I think we do take the series. I fully expect to win this series against New York and keep the lead over Seattle.
Okay. Okay, guys. Do you guys have anything else on baseball before we move on to the WNBA?
Yeah, the Reds suck.
Well, it's kind of been our history, since 1990. Okay.
I'm just teasing.
Yeah, I'm still hoping for big things for the Reds. I just like to be a little more consistent. But hey, We're 9-7. That's not going to be good enough, though. We're going to have to probably in the next 50 games. We're probably going to have to, if we want to make the playoffs, we're going to probably at least win 30 of these last 50 or so. In my opinion, to make the playoffs.
Gotta keep winning series.
And we got to beat teams in our division. We can't go into Pittsburgh and lose 3 or 4.
No,
we got to.
I don't think we will.
We got to win our division.
And what's been a little surprising to me after the All-Star break is so far it seems like the teams that were struggling before the All-Star break are hot after the All-Star break, and a lot of the teams that were hot before the All-Star break have cooled off. I mean, you get the Miami Marlins. Look at the Pittsburgh Pirates. What they've done since what they're doing since the All-Star break. They've gotten hot. The Chicago White Sox, the Marlins. Like some of these teams that didn't make no moves or maybe even sold a little bit at the trade deadline that are playing some good baseball since the All-Star break in the trade deadline.
That's very true. Okay, guys, let's talk a little WNBA and let's talk a little.
Hold on, real quick. We can't bypass this. We can't. I just saw this and I meant to bring it up and I forgot about it. But I think it's too important of a headline not to talk about real quick. We are going to get history again tonight, guys. Gender breaking Major League umpire Jen Powell. I think that's how you say her last name, is going to be playing in the Marlins series tonight as an umpire. And the reason why I think that's so important to talk about was, she was in her hotel room in Tennessee when she got the call that she was waiting for, and she would make her I guess in the women's series, she'll be the first woman umpire in a century and a half of big league baseball to get a start. So that's incredible, man. It's cool to see that. She said she was overcome with emotion. She recalled on Thursday, 2 days before, she will break a gender barrier when she works the bases during Miami's doubleheader versus Atlanta. So I just wanted to say congratulations to her. That's a big thing, right? When you're a female in anything, it's hard to get into the world of sports. And the fact that it's been a century and a half and a woman is finally getting the ability to call, be an umpire in baseball, that's pretty notable. So, Jen, I salute you.
One thing on that, Jen, you said that she was emotional. I hope she's not emotional tonight. I hope she realizes there's no crying in baseball.
No crying. There's no crying. There's no crying.
You remember the movie? What movie was that about the ladies?
A League of Their Own.
Yes, there's no crying in baseball. Tom Hanks, he was the coach of the owner.
Robert, to answer your question, it just got took off there. But to answer your question, last time the Reds made the playoffs was 2020.
Yep, that's right. It was 2021.
Before that, it was 2013, and then we made it in 2020. And then last year, is your last year? No, year before. It was a year before. We missed a wild card by one game to the Arizona Diamondbacks, and that was the year the Arizona Diamondbacks went to the World Series. They beat us out. We were in a battle with them for that wild card spot, and they beat us out the last game of the season, and then they end up going to the World Series that year.
Yep, and the last World Series for us was 1990.
Yep. When you had the earthquake.
Yeah. All right, guys, let's move on. The Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark has missed 9 straight games. She's still day-to-day. I don't know when she's going to be back. They haven't announced anything. Fever are currently the 5th seed in the playoffs right now with 13 games left. Guys, do you think the Fever are in trouble? This is a team that made a lot of moves. They did have a player also. I can't remember who it was. Somebody got hurt last night, too, in that game for them. But I don't remember the name right offhand. But are they in trouble? This is a team that I'm not saying everybody thought they were going to win the championship, but a lot of people thought they was definitely going to be a contender with the moves that they made. And when they came out to start the season, it looked that way. But Clark has not been able to stay on the court. At times, the team has played well without her. But right now, they're in a little bit of a run, not playing well without her. So, Jay, let's go to you first about what you think about the Fever and Caitlin Clark.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So you got 13 games Looks like 13 regular season games left before you guys hit the playoffs. And I think you're currently in 5th. Is that correct? Am I correct on that? You're in 5th place?
Yeah, we're 5th seed.
Okay. And you have 8 teams that'll make the playoffs. And who's underneath you?
I don't have that in front of me, Jay. But somebody about a game behind us.
Tell me, Chris. Just tell me, man. Just tell me. If I got a booger on my nose, what? What? What is it?
Everything you just asked is what I just said.
Oh. Well, I'm old.
That's true.
And either I'm old and I didn't hear half of what you said, or we just think alike. I don't know. I don't know where to go with that, but I appreciate the fact that Gonzo. Look, any day where Gonzo is laughing and he's smiling and he looks like he's enjoying life, I just say hell with it. Let's go with it. Hell, I'm good. Let's do the damn thing. No, seriously. So you got 13 games left. You're about a game and a half, or the team behind you is about a game and a half behind you. So you got very small, a little bit of wiggle room. Do they say how much long? Is it a groin or a hamstring? I always forget which one she's got.
Well, I think it's a groin.
Groin, and she's been out nine games. That's probably what, maybe 2-3 weeks at best that she's been sidelined.
I'm gonna say 3.
So typically a groin is what, about a month and a half, whatever, depending on your body, how fast you heal, things like that. And 13 games, I don't know. It's gonna be tough, man. I mean, I don't know how far along she is in her progress in terms of getting ready to come back. Have they put out any news at all in terms of how her recovery is going or her rehab is going?
No, they really haven't. They pretty much have said day to day. I do also think they're being really cautious because she's came back twice now, and she has been within the court. So I think they're trying to give it, hey, maybe we pushed it too much the other times. So, we're in the playoffs right now. We're not doing too bad, and they have lost the last 2 or 3 games, but before that they won 3 or 4 games in a row. So I think they felt comfortable with trying to take it slow, because I mean they don't want her to come back too soon and get a worse injury. We've seen that happen. We've seen it happen with the Pacers. But
and that's the thing, right? What do you? And again, and that was the same thing with Halliburton. When I said, God, man, I feel like they should be resting Halliburton. But I understand it's the finals. How do you rest in the finals? I mean, it's the most important part of your career. So I don't know, man. I think that's that's a team trainer thing. I don't know that you can go 13 games, or even let's say she's out another 5 games, because that 5-game differential. So who's at number 8? How many games is number 8 behind from you? Or I should say number 9. Let's go with number 9, the 9th place team. How many games are they back?
Chris would have to look that up. I'm not capable. But
because that really would be the determining factor.
I think they feel comfortable right now. Now, I'm not saying it's anything guaranteed. I think they feel comfortable where they're at, that they make the playoffs. Now, whether they can keep that 5 or 6 spot may be a different story. Maybe they could drop to 7 or 8, but I think they feel comfortable that they're in a position where they will still make the playoffs. But my question is, the last time that she did come back, Jay, after she came back, she didn't look good. She didn't shoot the ball well. She didn't. She passed the ball well, but she didn't really play. She didn't play like Caitlin Clark. So she probably came back too soon. So I mean, yeah, it's tough to say. They're just not giving much information on how she's doing.
So it looks like she went out. So it looks like she went out July 24th. We're now August the 8th. Yeah, I don't think she gets back towards probably at the earliest, the middle of August, maybe at the latest of the end of August. And I don't think it's going to happen that she's going to be back in time. It really depends on how well your other team can hold down the fort. I think you got a 50-50 shot, man, at making the playoffs at this point.
I think we make the playoffs.
Clayton can get back and play good.
Yeah, my question is, how many games can she get? How many games do you think she would need to come back and play to get ready for the playoffs? I would say I would like to have it by at least 5 games, or she would have 4 or 5 games before the playoffs.
I was actually thinking 3 to 4 because Caitlin, she knows how to play. It's not like she knows how to play. I'm sure she's doing all the things. I think it takes 3 to 4 games to get the rhythm back of the flow and get your rhythm and find, just work your way back into it. I think 3 to 4, but a fifth game, if it went 5 games. I just don't know if you have the luxury of going 5 games. I think she's going to, if she comes back, she's realistically going to have probably about 3 to 4 games out of that 13 games that are left. She probably got 3 to 4 at best. Long term looking at, I'll be honest with you, whether she comes back or not, I mean, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful towards Indiana Fever or their fan base, but this is, there's some really competitive, hardcore teams up there at that top. I just don't think this year is your year, So I don't know. I just don't feel. That's why I say I'd be careful how hard you push Caitlin, because that really is your bread and butter.
Yep.
It's only her second year in the league, so you don't want to ruin her either, because there's a lot of years under her that you want to endure with. So
that's true.
That's a tough situation that you guys are in, honestly.
Yeah, because they made a lot of moves to get positioned to be a contending team. Because I think with her not getting injured, instead of being a 5 seed, I think they're a 4 seed, maybe even a high, maybe even a 3. I think they are maybe I think they're definitely a top 4 team, maybe even higher than that if she's healthy. But again, Chris, what do you think?
I think they still. I think they're still going to have a chance in the playoffs to go on a deep run. Yeah, she's missed a lot of games. I think she'll be back here in the next probably week. But the reason I still think they can go on a deep run, especially if long as she gets back before the playoffs. They were on a 5-game winning streak up until they just got beat last night. Like they haven't been playing terrible without her. Even with her missing so many games, they still got the 5th best record in the total in WNBA. That's not just in their conference. That's the total league. So they're still a top 5 team in the league with her missing 13 or 14 games this season. So if you can get her back and the team in front of them, Liberty, they beat the Liberty this season. They beat the Dream this season. I mean, they're teams that they can compete with, especially if Clark is back on the team. So I think the main thing is just giving her time to get healthy. And as long as the team can stay in that 4th, 5th, 6th spot and you're in the playoffs, I think they'll have a chance. They'll have a chance to go on a run. But I do believe she'll be back. I think she'll probably play the last, I'm going to say probably 5-6 games of the regular season. I think she's pretty close to getting back from some of the stuff I've been hearing.
Because I think the end of the season's around the September 11th, 12th, 13th, something like that, I think, if I remember correctly. So roughly a month. But
I think it was Kelsey Mitchell that got banged up some last night. Now we can't have her going down. We need her to be able to play as well. But yeah, with the team they have, like I said, if you were said your star player has missed 13, 14 games now this season.
She missed more than she played, didn't she?
Yeah, I think so. And you still have the 5th best record in the WNBA. I mean, you're going to take that as a Fever executive if you're missing Caitlin Clark over half the season and you're still in the playoffs and you're still a top 5 team. I mean, You're going to take that. Now you just got to get her healthy so you can try to make a run in the playoffs. And I think a silver lining to it, if she does get healthy, this experience of playing these games without her could pay dividends in the playoffs for some of them players that got put in some situations in the regular season maybe they wouldn't have if she was healthy, and then you get in a tough situation in the playoffs. Sometimes that extra playing time that some of your role players got can really pay off for you.
And if she can get 100%, she ain't going to have the wear and tear on her body that a lot of these other players are going to have. She's going to be fresh because she hasn't played a lot of games. So if she can get back and be ready, we'll see.
My thing is right now you're about 3 games. There's 3 games that separate you from the 5th place and the 9th place team. So you're about 3 games separation right now between you and the 9th place. Now the good news for you guys is your next 4 games are against Chicago, Dallas, Washington, and Connecticut. All of those have losing type records or out of the playoff type records. So if you can maximize those 4 games, then that puts you in a really good situation because after that, then you got 2 games against Minnesota back to back, and you know how tough they are, plus Seattle. So you got, and then then you get LA, which is kind of a lackluster team, but then you got Golden State. So there's I think Gonzo was right. I think if you can win the games that you should win, which is 4 or 5 out of those games, then that will keep you in the running until Caitlin gets back, and then you still got enough time. That'll give you about 4 to 5 games, like you said, Tony, to get Caitlin back in the mix. So you guys are still very much in it.
How far are we from the 4 spot?
Oh, from the 4 spot? Let me go back to that real quick. I want to say
2
it's
games.
not much. Microscopic.
2 games.
Yeah.
So if we play well, moving up is a possibility. Okay, well, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, because we're only like 2 games out of the 3 spot.
really.
3 spot is 19-11. We're 17-14, so we're like 2.5 out of the 3 spot.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, the number 2 spot's 19-10. So the number 2 spot only has two more wins than us.
Okay.
But they
You're
have
right there in
couple
the
less
pack.
games.
I mean, you're
Yeah, we're there. We're there. I mean, if we can get healthy, they're a team that can contend. There's no doubt. But they got to get healthy, and hopefully, when she does get healthy, she can stay on the court.
And Robert,
Okay.
if she's as bad as Angel Hernandez, they need to not even let her in the league.
Who's that? Who's Angel Hernandez?
That terrible Major League Baseball umpire.
Oh, okay.
that's the guy that would call like balls like 15 feet out of the strike zone strikes. Yeah, that guy.
Okay, guys. Well, do you have anything else before we move on to our top 10 list?
Nope.
Okay.
I did have one thing real quick that I wanted to point out, and if you can, it's just going back to what Rob was saying a minute ago. Back when we were talking preseason football about Milroe, I gotta tell you, I would never compare him to Lamar because he hasn't been in the league but a hot second. So I think that would be crazy to ever try to say that. But I did like the way he did play in that preseason game. He rushed for 38. He had an 80-something QBR. So I mean, he was effective and he did do a good job in his first outing out. But he has a long way to go. But if I was Seattle, I would be very encouraged by at least his first appearance in the preseason. That's it.
I think he's somebody that possibly someday could be a starting quarterback. I think he could develop. I really do. But we'll see. Okay, guys. Let's do the top 10 greatest heavyweight boxers. Again, top 10 heavyweight boxers of all time. Chris, I'll give you the first guess at number 1. I don't think this is real hard, but
Muhammad Ali.
Muhammad Ali is number 1. Okay, just for clarification, I'll give you guys number 10. If I can pronounce the damn name, I really don't want to pronounce this. Wladimir, no, I'm not saying that one. Vladimir Klitschko was number 10. I remember him, Klitschko at the heavyweight. He came in at number 10. So we have Ali at 1, and Klitschko at 10. So, Jay, who would be your guess for number 2?
I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can go about this for number 2. There's a lot of really good boxers. I'm gonna go with probably the more obvious choice. I think should be an obvious choice and say Mike Tyson. So I'd probably put Iron Mike at number 2.
Iron Mike is number 4.
Okay, interesting. Okay,
Chris, you want to take a guess too?
Lennox Lewis.
Lennox Lewis comes in at number 6. I'm going to give you guys 2. Yeah, I'm going to give you guys 2 and 3.
No.
Okay.
I have a feeling it's Evander. I got a feeling Evander Holyfield should be at number 2 or 3, if depending on which way you want to look at it.
Evander is number 7.
Damn. Okay, go ahead then. Damn.
They got
Number-
Joe Frazier.
Joe Frazier is number 8.
8.
Yes. The reason
Where do we get these? Who's making these lists? I just want to know who's making these.
I think one of them you guys will think about. Well, of course, Chris never seen. Well, I don't think me and Jay ever seen him not live. We've seen the first one. Number 2 is Joe Louis,
Yeah.
and number 3 is
Yeah.
Rocky Marciano's number 3. So I mean, I see that. Again, here, let me do the list, guys. Number 1 is Ali, 2 Lewis, 3 Marciano, 4 Tyson, 5 George Foreman, 6 Lennox Lewis, excuse me, 7 Vander Holyfield, 8 Joe Frazier, 9 Larry Holmes, and Klitschko, it was 10. Let me ask you guys something. Do you think Joe Frazier is too low at 8?
I would,
Yeah, I do.
yeah, I would have Lennox Lewis and Joe Frazier ahead of George Foreman.
Would you have Lewis in front of Foreman? I don't think I would.
I personally would, but I mean,
But I seen a lot of Foreman growing up.
I can't put him ahead of. The only reason I say that, and the only reason I say that, is because what Foreman did at the age of 60 to recapture the heavyweight title, that's impressive. That's almost unheard of for somebody that old to come back and do that. That's the only reason I put Foreman up there.
I think. I mean, I don't have a problem with it's something I didn't see really. Lewis and Marciano being high because they were great fighters. So I'm not going to argue on that. Ali, Lewis, Marciano, Tyson 4. Yeah, I see that. Foreman at 5. Personally, I think Frazier should be at least 5. And honestly, you guys may think I'm crazy. I think Frazier should be in front of Mike Tyson.
I don't know. I have a hard time with only because Tyson. I don't know. Tyson was so damn dominating.
Tyson destroyed.
That's a hard for me. That's a hard one. That's a hard. Oh, by the way, Joe, it wouldn't be Sugar Ray wouldn't be in this list because we're doing heavyweights, and that'd be the wrong weight class.
Tyson destroyed people, but I don't know that he fought the level of fighters that Frazier did.
But see, I don't know. It's hard to compare.
It is.
I mean, I understand, but you make a good point. That's why it's hard for me to argue against your point because part of me is kind of like I don't know. I mean, I think I'm on the fence with that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, just like Larry Holmes at 9. Larry Holmes. I mean, you look at his win total. And
I remember Larry Holmes.
But Holmes, what keeps Holmes back is I think Holmes beat Ali, but he beat Ali when Ali was, not Ali. So Holmes really didn't have that signature win. That's why he's at 9. If Holmes had some signature wins, he would be up in that top 5.
I mean, I don't know. And then Dempsey, I just don't know about the Klitschko kid being at number 10. I think that, if you look at some of the older school boxers, even look at Dempsey. Dempsey was a hell of a good fighter.
Yep.
There's a lot of people I put in there before I put Klitschko in there.
Do you guys agree with Lewis over Holyfield? Lewis is 6, Holyfield 7.
I do.
Holyfield was a hell of a good fighter, though, man. And nothing against Lennox. I love Lennox too, but I think I like the technical skill set of Holyfield a little bit better.
Okay, let me ask you guys this. Let's go this route.
Didn't Lewis beat Holyfield like twice?
I think he may have at least once. I know for sure.
I think they fought 3 times. I think Lewis beat him twice. I think.
Okay,
I'm not arguing you. I guess I'd have to go back and.
Yeah, I think he did beat him at least once and maybe twice. I don't know. Let's do this, guys. And Joe, you do it this too if you can. Who would be your top 3? Who would be your top? If you was making the list, who would be your top 3? I'll give you guys a chance to think about it, and I'll give mine. And I'm going to do this because I didn't see Lewis and Marciano, so I'm not going to put them in my top 3. I'm going to put Ali number 1. I'm going to put Joe Frazier 2, and I'm going to put George Foreman 3. That's me.
Yeah, and you're right, Gonzo. You are right. He did beat him twice. Both times were by decision.
And the other time they fought, the first time they fought was a draw.
Yeah,
first time they fought was a draw, and then he beat him twice.
Yep.
So,
Lewis was good.
Lewis was good.
That's what I'm saying.
And he was one of the last ones to be the lineal champion. Like Lennox Lewis was tough. He was one of my favorite boxers back there too. So I'm a little biased toward Lennox Lewis.
And then What do you guys think?
Hold on, real quick. I got to address that because Gonzo, I really agree with you, and I think it's because of the fact that when they all three of the times, it was draw or decision. When you're that microscopically close, if you were to put Lewis ahead of that, I trust me, I grew up in the same era you grew up in. I watched Legs, and Legs was one of my favorite fighters too. Evander Holyfield was one of my favorite fighters. All those guys, right? So if you were to put, I think you could do either or. The list is fucking good. However, Klitschko, get his ass out of here. I don't know why he's even in that damn list.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up about
Klitschko was good though, man.
He was good, but let me ask you. Klitschko was good, but let me ask you this. And I know why he's not on the list because he's doing it right now. But look at the heavyweight champ right now, Usyk. Look how dominant Usyk is. I think, in my opinion, Usyk should be in front of Klitschko.
He probably would be.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of today's boxing.
Yeah,
he
but
probably
Usyk,
would be if he wasn't still fighting. He would be on that list if he wasn't still fighting.
okay, guys,
I agree with that.
who would be your top three? If you're making the list, who would be your top three heavyweights boxers of all time? Hey, Joe, if you're out there, you give a top three. Or anybody out there wants to give a top three.
I caught a bit of your top three. I think my top three is probably close to what yours is. Ali is always going to be number one. I don't care what anybody says. Ali is still always my number one. And I think in light of the fact that Gonzo is right that Lewis did beat him those three times, then I would go Lennox Lewis, and then I would go Evander, and then I'd go Tyson, and then Holmes, and then probably from there on down.
What do you think, Chris?
Who was 4 and 5 on that list again?
Okay, 4 and 5 was Tyson, 4, Foreman 5, Lewis 6, Holyfield 7, Frazier 8, Holmes 9, Klitschko 10, and then of course Ali was one.
I'd probably go Ali, Marciano, and then Lewis.
Really? You like Lewis over
It's hard to take
Tyson?
Marciano.
You like Lewis over Tyson? Okay.
I like
So-
Lewis over Tyson because I feel like I agree with Jay. Tyson was dominant, but my argument toward that was he was dominant for a short period of time, and I feel like Lewis fought the tougher fighters over if you look at his whole career versus Tyson's career. Like he fought Holyfield 3 times, never lost to him. Tyson fought Holyfield a couple times, lost to him.
Yeah.
Me personally, I just think Lewis done it a little bit longer, and I think he fought some tougher opponents. So I would have Lewis ahead of Tyson. Now, if you ask me who was the most dominant fighter I've ever seen, it would probably be Mike Tyson because just the way he dominated and was exciting to watch. But just going by like best fighters, I think Lewis was a little bit better all around boxer than what Tyson was.
Okay. Well, guys,
Real quick, if I can, the reason why one thing about Tyson was I look at Tyson as more of a brawler, right? He just has a lot of raw power to him. And I look at Lennox Lewis, and I look at Evander Holyfield, and then obviously Ali, and you throw Ali in there as well. I mean, these are just great fighters. They had the technical skill, and they also had the power, and that's what made them so good. And I really believe that's why Tyson can never get past a Lennox Lewis or Evander, is because he didn't have the technical skill sets like they had. He just had raw power. And if he connected with you one time, hopefully that one time was going to be enough to get you on the mat.
yeah, I agree. Guys, you guys want to do this top 10 best basketball of all time, or you want to say?
Oh, what do you want to do, Gonzo?
It don't matter to me.
Oh, we can. Hey, if you want to roll with it, we can roll with it.
Okay, top 10 greatest NBA basketball players of all time, and it was NBA. Of course, I think everybody knows who number one is or should be. Number one is Jordan on the list, and I'll give you a number 10 to kind of give you a what might be ahead. Oscar Robertson was number 10 on the list, so they had Jordan 1, Oscar Robertson 10. So, Chris, I'll give you the first guess. Who do you think number 2?
On their list, it's going to be probably LeBron, but that's not who I would have at number.
No,
2.
LeBron was number 3.
Who'd they have at 2? Kareem?
Nope. Kareem was
Or
4. Let Jay have a guess at 2 here. Kareem was 4.
I'm going back and forth between Magic and Kobe, and I feel like they're going to give it to Kobe.
Nope. Magic was number 2, and Kobe was 5. So
I was really leaning
5?
towards Magic, but for some reason,
Who was
Jordan
Who was-
1.
who was 3?
Okay, Jordan 1, 2 Magic, 3 LeBron, 4 Kareem, 5 Kobe.
yeah. Okay. I'm not mad at the list. Maybe a little bit of the
Who's
order,
6?
but I'm not mad at that top 5.
Who's 6?
6 is Wilt Chamberlain.
Wilt the Stilt, baby.
Who's 7?
Larry Bird.
Larry? That's good. But I like Larry being in.
Larry Bird should be higher. Larry Bird should be higher than 7.
When we get down, we'll do our top 3s ourselves. Number 8. Anybody want to make a guess?
I'm going to say Tim Duncan.
Nope, did not make the list.
Damn. But then you got to go Bill Russell.
All we have is 8 and 9. Bill Russell was 8. You guys want to make a guess for 9, Chris?
What? I'm gonna say Shaq.
Shaq was
Nobody
number
said
9.
Shaq.
So here's the list. Jordan 1, Magic 2, LeBron 3, 4 Kareem, 5 Kobe, 6 Wilt, 7 Larry Bird, 8 Bill Russell, 9 Shaq, and 10 Oscar Robertson. That's a pretty good list. I mean, there would be probably some I would change some order a little bit. But I think that's a pretty good top 10. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of who's in the 10 or the fact that they're in the 10, I'm okay with the order of it. I think me, you, and Gonzo would probably not have it in that order. I think the 3 of us would have our own different versions of that 10.
I'll give mine first. I would have Jordan 1. I'm going to put Kareem 2, and this is probably going to piss people off. I'm going to put Larry Bird 3.
Yeah. I mean, that would piss me off. I mean, I like it. I think mine would be similar. I think it would be Jordan at 1. It would be Kareem at 2. And I think for me, just because how good he was with the point guard spot, I think I'd have Magic, and then I'd probably have Bird at number 4.
What about you, Chris?
I'd have Jordan 1, Kareem 2, Wilt Chamberlain 3, Larry Bird 4, Magic Johnson 5.
Then what would you put Kobe 6?
No, I put LeBron 6.
I like it. I like your list. But personally, I think
I'd probably have Kobe right after LeBron. But I think Wilt Chamberlain gets disrespected, and I think Kareem gets disrespected too because they didn't play in the era where it was on TV and a lot of people got to see it.
And I think that could be said.
I think they should be a lot. I think they should be a lot higher on lists than what they get put.
Well,
And then
I think
I
that
also
could be
think
said.
Larry Bird is right up there.
I think that could be said for Bill Russell too.
Yeah, I can see Bill Russell as well.
Yeah, because he wasn't on TV a lot, and he was so dominant with all them championships that they won. And people are going to say they didn't play against as good a competition. It's hard to compare. I know that.
Here's a question for you guys to think about, and we can talk about it. Well, I guess we can talk about it on Tuesday because I won't be here on Monday.
Yep.
Why do we not glorify, or not even glorify? Why does the legend of like Wilt Chamberlain and Kareem, it don't get like the respect and glorified like the legend of like Babe Ruth in baseball? Like everybody still thinks Babe Ruth is one of the best players ever. Nobody ever really got to see him play or watch him, but his legend is carried on, and he's still. But with like Wilt Chamberlain, and even you can make the case for Kareem or like you said, Russell. It hasn't done that for them, where their legend is carried on at the height of like a Babe Ruth. You know what I mean? So like, what's the difference other than it's just a different sport?
Well, even Oscar Robertson, he averaged
Oscar
triple-double for a
Oscar
season.
Robertson.
The dude averaged a triple-double for a season, and we're not talking about a guy that was 6'8".
Yeah, I mean that's a lot of that. I mean, Babe is and Lou Gehrig and that Yankees organization. I just think that Lou they were just much more in the spotlight, which I think is why the legends came about. That I think the Wilt Chamberlains and Oscar Robinsons. I don't know if they had the exposure or the teams that they were affiliated with had the exposure to really put them in those categories you're talking about. Not that they don't belong there; they absolutely belong there. I just think that Babe, Lou Gehrig, DiMaggio, all them guys that came out of that Yankees organization, they were that organization in and of itself was so hyped up that that's what we all you know what I'm saying?
I get that, but Kareem played for the Lakers, one of the biggest organizations in the NBA.
True, but I got to take on that, Chris, and see if you guys agree or disagree. I think back in the 50s and 60s and 70s, baseball was a lot more popular than basketball.
Oh yeah, it was.
Because baseball, even in the 50s and 60s, was all over the radio. NBA and ABA stuff wasn't on the radio. NBA didn't have that many games on TV. Baseball was a lot more covered than what basketball was at that time. I'm talking 50s, 60s, 70s. At that time, baseball was a more popular sport than basketball. Baseball was probably the most popular sport in that time. I think even more popular than football.
Yeah, a lot of people don't want to hear it, but up until baseball went on strike, baseball was the most popular sport in the country until they went on strike, and that's when that's when the other sports caught up and went ahead of them, is because a lot of people quit watching baseball after the strike and stuff, and then of course steroid era and stuff started bringing baseball back. Before they went on that big labor strike, baseball was the most popular sport by far.
I was born in 1963. From 63 to 85, growing up, me and all my friends, we talked about baseball. We all wanted to be baseball players. We didn't want to be football players or basketball players.
And, I'll tell you something else, too. A couple of things I want to say. Number one is, growing up, even when I was growing up as a kid, I was born in 72, not too much longer after Mr. Tony was born, but it was cheaper to go see a baseball game than it was a basketball game. And I think that's why a lot of times I resonated more with baseball, because that was just a sport that my family could afford to go see, even though we're in the nosebleeds and we had to pass around the binoculars. Tara Lynn, you got the binoculars more than I did. Kind of pissed me off, but that's okay. That's neither here nor there. It was just the fact that it was a lot cheaper and more accessible than the NBA was. And that's just part of it. The other part of it I wanted to say was the fact that when it comes to Wilt Still, he did have a lot of popularity, because, and correct me if I'm wrong, he was one of the first players I know of that was doing movies. Now, granted, it was Conan the Barbarian, but still, he made his own acting debut off of that. So, I mean, and then I think even Jabbar, even Kareem got into a movie. I think it was Conan the Barbarian as well.
Yeah, I remember. I know Kareem did a movie, but I know Wilt did some movies, yeah.
I just thought it was interesting that, before, LeBron and Michael were doing Space Jam, Wilt and Kareem were out there doing, Conan the Barbarian, which I thought was pretty cool back then. But I definitely think this is a conversation that requires a little bit more effort, though, because I think that's a good idea. Why is Babe and them more popular than Wilt or Kareem or any of that like that? I think there's more to it than just that. I feel like, anyways. I think I definitely like to pick this back up on Tuesday and talk a little bit more about it.
Yeah, I agree. But Wilt, man, the legend of Wilt Chamberlain is something else, and then Kareem, just one of the greatest ever, man. He did it. He did it for a long time. Did it for a couple of teams. He did it for the Milwaukee Bucks, and he did it for the Lakers.
Right.
If you go by whole basketball career, like college, everything, Kareem's probably would be the greatest of all time, because nobody, like what he done in college as a player and then what he done as a pro. I don't think anybody can really compare to that.
It's funny though. There was a basketball player that never made it to the NBA, Earl Mandegault. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that name. If you have never heard the name Earl Mandegault, he was a college player that played with Kareem, and Kareem said that he was probably the best player he had ever seen play basketball, but obviously he died, so he never made it to the NBA. But I feel like if Kareem is saying that must have meant something. Again, this is more for my time, so I can't really speak too much on it, but that was one of the things that came out Kareem was talking about. And I'd like to know what Lynn Bias, obviously, Lynn Bias was drafted by the Celtics, died, I think it was from an overdose, whatever it was on the court. So we never got to see what he could have been, but I would have liked to see what Lynn Bias would have brought to the game.
And guys, Pete Maravich, man. I mean, in college, Pistol Pete, I mean, he averaged like 35, 40 points a game in college, and there was no 3-pointers.
Right. That was nuts.
I mean, and he was a great passer too.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot of greats. I think that I would have liked to have seen them make it to the actual realm of the NBA or NBA, whatever, but obviously life took them away from it. But it would have been nice to see what they anybody. I would say if Kareem is saying that he's the best you've ever seen, I would have wish that guy would have made it to the NBA so we could have gotten a taste of that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But Kareem is one of the best, no doubt about it.
Well, guys, let's get out of here. Hopefully, everybody has a great weekend.
Let's get Chris back to platinum status, please. DoorDash, let's get Chris back to platinum status.
Come on, DoorDash. What the hell's your problem?
Been pissing me off all damn day. I've been checking my phone every freaking 5 minutes to see if it'll let me go to work or not. And one time it finally turned. It finally said yes. So I hurried up and hit the button. It took off.
Why does it come up? With
it gave me 45 minutes.
Missed a big middle finger.
Hey, I'm gonna.
I probably wouldn't have a phone no more. It came up big middle finger. Watch that motherfucker.
I'm not a fortune teller, but I got $100 that says Chris is gonna be doing everything he can to get that DoorDash over the weekend back up.
I better have it back up today.
Hell yeah.
I don't have it back up today. I'm gonna be a little mad.
It took Austin a while to get it back up.
Yeah, but his wasn't an acceptance rate. His was a completion rate, which takes longer. But
okay.
Still, I thought I'd have mine back up by now because I done like 4 orders after they done that yesterday, and it still ain't put me back up yet. So I have to be real close because I've done a couple today. So. But all right, we appreciate everybody watching. Please hit that subscribe button on YouTube at ESEN and at Gonzo Sports Room. And I'm sure Jay and them will see you guys on Monday. I'll be back on Tuesday, and hope everybody has a good weekend.